of course, when everybody thinks about Kris, they're going to say the Colts, but that's, I mean, that's just obvious. He doesn't own anything else in his closet besides something that says Colts on it.
The one word that comes to mind to describe Kris Gibson is extra, and I mean that in absolutely the best way possible. Everything he does is over the top. For example, he wanted to buy my kids a stuffed animal, but instead of just getting them a cute little giraffe, he bought them a 4-foot giraffe. Or he wanted to make sure that my daughter was entertained and had something to keep her distracted after surgery. So we got home from the hospital and had a giant bounce house and a ball pit in our living room. So really, he just likes to see other people happy. So him being extra just makes him a really great friend.
The word to describe Kris for me has to be thoughtful, and I think that word became evident before I was ever even hired at Capstone. During my interview, we spent about 10 minutes talking about the actual job, and then I stayed here at the office for about 2 hours after, just talking about life and fun stuff, and that thoughtfulness of his has just continued the whole time I've been here. He's taken me and my boyfriend on a trip to see a football game. My team won, so that was great. And just recently I was out sick for about 2 weeks and he sent me flowers. So I think thoughtful just really encapsulate who he is as a person.
Esoteric? No. Enigmatic? No. Giving. In all seriousness, I don't know an individual that is more giving than he is of his time, his energy, his resources, whether it be something little that you need to step in to help with something, if it's something around the office, outside of the office, he is incredibly giving.
How do we find just one word to describe Kris? Let me think. It's not that hard, really, to be honest. Kris is so generous, and that's the word that, thinking about this, I wanted to bring up. You know, when I first met Kris, my girls, I have twin girls, they were about 3. He used to go shopping every day out for lunch, and he'd come back with all these Dora the Explorer DVDs because he knew that they really liked it. We finally had to cut it off. It got to the point where they thought when mom came home, mom brought presents, and so we had to recondition them. That's not really how this works. But I see it play out time and time again, and as I've gotten to know him over the last 15 years, he does that with family, with friends, with his coworkers. I mean, Kris is the guy that everybody goes into his office just to talk. Kris is the guy that sees somebody in need on the street and instantly gets all of the winter gear that they need so that they're not cold. When the Boy Scouts are selling popcorn out in front of the grocery store, he's not the guy who just gives them 20 bucks, he gives them 200 and tells them, have a good day. I mean, that's just who he is, and it's so awesome to work with him. It's so awesome to be his friend and his coworker. And I also think it comes through when other people outside of our organization encounter him.
Something that people would be surprised to know about Kris is he comes from a very small town, and it is a very long ways away from Des Moines. For almost 10 years, he commuted over an hour each way to come into the office to work, rain, sleet, snow. He is like the Postal Service. You knew you could count on him to come into the office, to show up, to do what he needed to do despite that commute.
I think people would be surprised to know that underneath his tough, snarky, funny exterior, Kris is really just a big, soft teddy bear. And you could probably get him to cry really easily if you tried.
He's got a weird thing with cotton. I don't know what it was. I didn't believe it when he first said it, right? He goes, I can't touch cotton. I'm like, who can't touch cotton? But he goes, no, it makes me physically want to get sick. And so apparently it's a thing. So we all have our quirks that way. He's got that thing, and he can never finish his plate. I don't also know what that's about, but he will, no matter how much he loves the meal, he will always leave one bite left. So I don't know. He's a weird guy.
Hold on, wait a minute. So everybody's being asked the same question. Everybody this month's doing a video giving a word to describe me.
Yep.
What are they saying?
You'll find out later.
When later? Before payday later? Because I'd like to know before I pay them all.